website.com. Our gracious host tonight, for the very first time, Epic Loot in Centerville, Ohio. Check them out at epiclootgames.com. This is round 2 of Friday Night Magic. 36 players here tonight. Will be a total of 5 rounds. They pay out based on standing here. 5 will get you $50 in store credit, and then it goes kind of down from there, which is not bad.
Not at all.
So this is kind of a special feature match for us. Those of us in Dayton Magic Club who have been doing this coverage thing for a while now. It's our first time here. We've been doing this for a while. One of our all-time favorite players to put under the camera, Logan Dice.
Yes, we were just talking about him last round with the red deck that Cody was playing, and sure enough, I guess his ears were burned. Here's Logan Dice.
Logan Dice won the last round. I don't know his exact list. He is a noted aggro player. Specifically, he's a noted red aggro player. Hasn't been playing the game super long, but picked it up very quickly. An accomplished player, has some cash finishes on the Star City game circuit.
Yes.
Has a lot of FNM titles under his belt here locally. So we have his opponent, Jill Mead, who we do not know as well. And
she's definitely a local player here. I've seen her a couple times since I've been here.
Yeah, we're going to pick up, as we play here, we'll pick up the local players that play here at Centerville. And looks like Jill is, of course, also undefeated. And apparently she beat her husband in round 1.
Yeah.
So she's on a roll. Now she's got to get through Logan Dice. Logan Dice, 15-year-old player.
Yeah.
So
I always thought he was older, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Logan's definitely gotten a lot of candy on his store credit.
This is true. So here we go. Looks like I see mountains in Logan's hand.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Oh, we got a Windswept Heath.
It's a Windswept Heath. It is being cracked.
Logan's probably pretty happy about that.
Yeah, sure.
Here comes a turn 1 guy. That is the Swift Spear.
Ooh, I like that.
Legacy All-Star.
So I think Logan is playing the sort of the updated mono red heroic list.
I think
that's what he's been playing at Game Haven, and we talked about before where I wasn't sure if that deck had the tools to beat these mid-range green decks. It's very possible that Jill Mead is in fact playing an Abzan deck. We don't know yet, but it's certainly a possibility.
Yes.
And if so, we will see if he has the tools. Off to a good start. Monster Swift Spear, a pretty good one. It's a Temple. Scries to the bottom.
Nothing doing so far, which just opens the door up for Logan to do anything he wants.
That's a 2-drop of some sort. I can't quite make it out. Our operator will update us here pretty quickly, though.
Yeah, it's not a hasty guy, that's for sure. Is that the war guy?
Arena Athlete.
Ah, okay.
That's the heroic guy that makes your opponent not be able to block.
Yep.
So definitely play in the mono red heroic list.
Yes.
I don't think you play Arena Athlete without a ton of ways to trigger it.
Right.
And of course, these pump spells are great with Swift Spear because you get to double dip. So we just have another land go from Jill. Logan is continuing to bring the beats. Is that another Swift Spear?
Yeah, it sure is. And then, Lightning Strike.
And then we're gonna have Lightning Strike. No, that's Dragon Mantle.
Oh.
Inferno Fist.
Yeah, Inferno Fist.
Yep.
Oh, goodness.
So swinging in for a nice chunk of damage. Wow. Still don't really know what Jill's on yet. We have not seen her play a spell yet, so
lots of green and white sources.
We will see if she can stabilize under the onslaught. It's a pretty explosive start from Logan.
Something happening.
What does 4 mana get you? It gets you a... Jacob Ross tells us that it is a...
And a guy with an Outlast mechanic.
And this looks like a big swing out, and without the ability to block, Jill will be dead.
Yeah.
Can you get us the name on that card when you get a second, Jacob? Just so we know for next game.
Oh, very
New cards, guys.
Yeah.
Early in the format. We're getting there.
Very nice of Jill to show Jacob Ross the card there. Abzan Battle Priest.
Okay.
Let's see what he does here.
Abzan Battle Priest. He is a 3/2 Outlast. Oh, and then each creature you control +1/+1 counter on it has lifelink. Outlast, of course, the ability that you can just pay the Outlast cost, tap it, and put a +1/+1 counter on it.
See, that makes sense. She's probably just running like a green-white build. I'm not sure.
It's possible, and
but I think I just did see an Abzan charm as she's going through her deck here.
So Abzan Charm, of course, lets you distribute 2 +1/+1 counters to make your to give you guys lifelink. I bet my theory would be maybe she also has Watchwolf, not the Watchwolf, Fleeceman Lion, which also gets a +1/+1 counter
when he's monstrous. Yeah.
Right. So there could be a bit of a theme going on there.
Yep.
But what we've learned here is you gotta cast the spell before turn 4 against the mono red deck.
Yeah, especially against the mono red
Doesn't
deck.
look like Jill's keep panned out. Looks like he probably had a good mix of lands and high-end stuff and needed to draw a Caryatid maybe or a Courser Kruvix or something like that to kind of try to stabilize a little bit.
For those who play at Epic Loot, this actually is not a foreign strategy for Jill. She was running a Trostani life gain deck before standard rotated.
Okay, sure.
Gaining very large amounts of life.
Sure. Trostani was a real card.
Yes. Kind of wonder if Sorna's in here. I would think so. She has a lot of guys, but
We haven't seen any black mana.
yeah,
So,
maybe she's got the sheep.
possible.
I'm a big fan of the sheep.
You like the battle sheet.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean that's possible. If you're playing black, of course, it opens up things like Siege Rhino
Yes.
and Sorin, and that's certainly a line. There is something to be said for playing a nice, clean mana base.
We've seen 3 decks right now with well, 4, I guess, unless she's running black. I mean, that would be considered clean.
Right.
You know, just 1, 2 colors maybe.
Yeah. So far, we haven't seen any wedge decks under the camera yet.
Yeah.
I know there's some in the room. Definitely saw plenty of Abzan, kind of mid-range decks. Saw a couple of Mardu. I know there's at least one Mardu mid-range deck and at least one Mardu aggro deck in the room.
Okay.
I know there's at least one Jeskai burn deck in the room. Some of the stuff we're starting to see kind of crystallize or at least be explored as possible contenders, as pillars of the format. We saw them do well last week at the Star City Opens. Abzan mid-range, Jeskai burn, a little bit of mono black aggro, a little bit of the Mardu shells seem to be what did well last week. So
looks like Jill is going to be fetching here.
Yep.
Turn 1, perhaps.
Of course, being on the play certainly helps get you out ahead when playing against this mono red deck. You want to be able to play your Caryatids or whatever else, your creatures that are conceivably bigger than Logan's guys on curve.
Elvish Mystic on the play there, and Logan has... Is that a new guy?
Satyr Hoplite.
Ah, okay.
That's the one that gets a +1/+1 counter.
Oh, okay.
With Heroic, I believe. Yeah. That's the one. So definitely the Heroic deck. Big Heroic theme in Logan's list. Which means we're probably going to see Inferno Fist. We might see Hammerhand. We're going to see Titan Strength for sure. Possibly Coordinated Assault, which is a nice double Heroic enabler. Let's see what he's got.
Logan does not appear to be missing the Ash Zealots of old.
I'm Ash Zealot. So we're not going to see a pump here. We're just going to see a swing for 1.
A take and then a fetch. Oh.
That is
Logan's
a Fire Drinker
guys.
And then a Chrome Crusader.
It's pretty good.
Yep. Possibly saving his pump spells for the Chrome Crusader, which actually puts like more dispersed power on the board.
Yeah.
It's pretty good if you anticipate her, Jill, playing like something like a Courser Kruvix or some bigger guy. You'd rather have your power distributed across the board rather than a 2/2.
Right.
Yeah, which isn't going to do any good.
And there's the Siege Rhino.
Yep, so we definitely have black mana. We're definitely playing Abzan, and Siege Rhino is a beating.
Yes. How do we get around this, Logan?
Well, he has Arena Athletes to make it so it can't block, which is powerful. He probably has Stoke the Flames. He definitely has Titan Strength. So he has ways to put it... he may have a Cheering Instigator, which is a good point from our operator, Jacob Ross.
Yep.
And looks like that is, in fact, a Titan Strength. Is that a Titan Strength?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Jill didn't see that coming or something.
Well, at a certain point against this mono red deck, you can't let him just keep pushing you around in the combat step.
Yeah.
Like Logan's going to attack. He literally cannot take a turn off attacking against this Abzan deck. So sometimes you gotta put him on not having it.
We're going to deploy another Rhino. Oh, Ages of the Gods.
Ooh,
Spicy.
that's cute. Let's get that pulled up on Gatherer real quick, Jacob, when you have a moment. So, that's not one that I've played personally very much.
I think that's the Hexproof guy.
You have Hexproof. Yeah, that's actually really reasonable. And of course, it is a 2-1, which means it trades very well, generally speaking.
Yep.
So we get an Acroan Crusader token with an Inferno Fist on the Acroan Crusader. We're swinging for like a bunch.
Yeah.
Man, Acroan Crusader is a sweet one. That card I always thought was awesome. I played this deck, the original incarnation of this deck, for a while. I went 4-0 with it the first time I took it out, then I went 0-3 drop the second time, and I took it apart. It's a little inconsistent. It's possible that, of course, that I just don't have the high level of skill that it requires with the deck, with the familiarity to know like the right lines, because it is not a powerful deck. It's a synergy-based deck, so you definitely have to be able to spot the correct play for sure.
Yes.
So Logan, with that attack, gets Jill back down to 15 after the Siege Rhino got her, stabilized a little bit. And he just keeps doing what he does, which is chip away. And of course, he'd like to finish the game in a flurry of Stoke the Flames.
Yeah.
But for that to happen, he's got to get.
This is a High Priest, I think, or High Sentinels. That's it.
Yep. Okay. This is the. People will call this possibly the. A possible finisher in this format to look at. This is the one that you can put +1/+1 counters on another creature, and then it gets +1/+1 for each creature with +1/+1 counter. That's going to eat a Stoke the Flames, though.
Yes.
I like High Sentinels. I've been looking at it. It's got if you untap with it once, it's out of burn range, out of Stoke the Flames range. It certainly does a ton of damage. It has sweet art. It's a bird soldier. There's nothing not to love about it.
Right, exactly.
However, it did eat a Stoke the Flames, and Logan just keeps relentlessly attacking.
These red decks are just absolutely brutal.
Yep. I really think their only real way to get ahead of these red decks, one of them is Sylvan Carroted is a very powerful tool because you can't target it with the can't block effects. You can't burn out of the way. It's just a great blocker.
Right.
Plus, it accelerates your bombs out, your Siege Rhinos or whatever. 2, they're very vulnerable to Anger the Gods, Drown in Sorrow, these kind of effects.
Yep. Oh.
There's a Courser.
Hey.
A little late maybe to the party than Jill would have wished initially, but she's still at a reasonably high life total. She can certainly still stabilize against this board.
Right. She's got Scryland next turn. So
another Stoke is what you want to dodge here. We don't have one. We just have another little guy. That is a is that an arena athlete? I think it might be. Yep.
Yeah. And all the dudes just turn sideways.
Yep. So, Courser can't block because Arena Athlete was targeted with a heroic spell this turn. So Logan gets in for what looks like 9 points of damage.
Yeah, a little ridiculous.
Leaving Jill currently dead on board to any heroic enabler in Logan's hand.
Right.
We know she has a Scryland.
Yeah, but
so we got a gain of life. Plays a land off the top.
Was that one of the lands that, when it comes into play, you gain a life?
Yeah, I believe it might be one of the new refuges.
Yeah, so she'd probably just gain 2 life right there.
And her top card should be revealed, of course, from Courser, but...
Yes. I think Logan's pointing out that the top card should be revealed. Yep. Good job, Logan. That is an Abzan charm?
I believe it is.
Or Ascendancy, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
Yep. Which, when your guys die, it gives you spirit tokens.
Yep. Which is cool.
Absolutely.
I think all the Ascendancies are kind of cool effects.
I don't think that Jill will have a chance to make some spirits.
It doesn't look particularly like it.
Oh, something's happening.
Oh, we're gonna get now. There is the charm,
Nice.
so that will take out the arena athlete. We're gonna have some blocks here,
And
and
she takes 4, looks
looks like 4. So well within burn range. Of course, the courser will help lift her out there a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a Siege Rhino, sir.
yep.
And she gained life, so she's at 4. Probably going to leave that there.
So if she has a way to, if she gets another turn, that Siege Rhino is going to help a lot.
Plays the Ascendancy.
Ascendancy, it gives all your guys +1/+1
+1
counter
when
comes
it
into
comes
play,
in.
and then
Yep.
you get a Spirit Token when they die.
That's pretty good.
So this deck has a lot of synergies too. I kind of like a lot of what it does. The lifelink thing seems very powerful, with a lot of good ways to get +1/+1 counters on your guys that aren't narrow. You know,
Right.
the charm has other modes. The ascendancy gives you other things as well, but they still all grow your guys and trigger all your +1/+1 counter checking guys.
Right.
So a lot of built-in synergy there. Logan is undeterred and he swings out. He's got 1 card in his hand.
Right.
It's scary. She's dead to like almost like any spell.
All of his top decks. Yeah.
If it's not a creature or a land, it is a lethal spell.
And
But it does not look like he has it. It is
it's
creature.
a
It's a
saber.
fire dragon saber.
Yep.
Jill's at 1.
Yep.
There are at least 3 Stoke the Flames left in the deck, but Siege Rhino is going to be good.
She's at 2.
She's at 2. Siege Rhino should. Oh, that might have been a life gain land because we have our life total marked to 3.
That's true.
Siege Rhino is going to get her up to 6.
Wow. So not only with the Ascendancy is the Courser out of Stoke range, she just gained like 5 life in
Yep.
1 turn. She's turned the corner. Look at all those basic lands.
And
there are no shocks.
As our operator catches up to the life totals, it's worth pointing out that Logan's at 9. Like, he is not in a safe spot either. There's 7 power on Jill's side of the board.
Absolutely.
So it looks like he's got to take a turn off from attacking here. Does not have a good attack. This is kind of what I was talking about Red's ability to chew through what the mid-range Abzan decks can do. Jill also does not feel like she has a good attack yet. I don't know what she played that turn.
I think that's the 1-drop Outlast guy. It's a 04.
Oh, yeah.
Sandman.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that's that priest that we saw game 1.
Okay.
So now her Courser has lifelink, if I remember the card text correctly. And that guy, once he untaps, will also have lifelink.
So the engine is kind of online for Jill now.
Yes.
And it's not going to take her more than another untap step to really stabilize, probably out of range of the kind of damage Logan's deck can cobble together. And Logan, once again, can do nothing but draw a card and pass. He has cards in his hand. Don't know what they are. Could be land. Could be him being sneaky, and it could be like 2 Stoke the Flames.
Block, Convoke. Seems good.
So not 100% sure. I know that if it's going to happen for Logan, it's got to be real soon.
Yeah.
It might already be too late after she gets another turn to Outlast and her guys start getting lifelink.
I think there's some discrepancy with the life totals here, perhaps?
It's possible. We'll get it sorted out.
Yeah. Magic, the game of math. Addition and subtraction.
So the
Swift Spear.
The concern when you're playing a deck this low to the ground, and what the deck Logan is playing is about as low down and dirty as a red deck can get.
Absolutely.
When the door closes on you, when you're playing an aggro deck, you have that like window before your opponent's more powerful game plan is fully online. When the window closes for this deck, it closes really hard.
Yeah, it does.
Where sometimes other decks could like play a Stormbreath Dragon or a Sarkin or some big flying finisher, something that can actually catch you back up, get you out of the game. We've seen it with the Black-Red Zombies deck of formats past where it was all Falconwrath Aristocrats and Thundermaw Hellkites could break through this kind of ground stall. Logan doesn't have that kind of effect. He only probably plays 18 land, 19 land, maybe.
Something like that.
So Jill's back up to 11.
Yeah. Siege Rhino got a counter on it, which gave it lifelink. And I think Logan's probably just going to pack it.
Yeah, Logan's seen enough. Almost got there.
Yep.
So we go to game 3. Of course, a big difference for Logan being on the play. He almost certainly would have won that game on the play. He only needed to find one more point of damage, and being on the play, I believe, would have gotten him one more attack step. And so, a big difference. If you're Logan, you have probably not a ton of great sideboard options. Your plan is just to get under and then reach out with your Stoke the Flames.
Right.
If you're Jill, you of course possibly have access, depending on how much you're expecting, you have a lot of really good tools. You're in good colors to beat aggro decks. You have Nyx Fleece Ram as an option. You have Drowned in Sorrow as an option. You have all kinds of removals. She's got all kinds of main deck life gain. So Logan's got about 3 turns to really put some damage on, and then really try to get the last 5 or 6 points off the top of his deck. We want to thank you guys all for watching. We've just updated. We've hit 20 viewers.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you watching us. We know there's a Grand Prix going on right now, and if you'd rather watch a little constructed in this brand new format, we appreciate you taking the time to watch it from us.
Yep. These matches are definitely not limited to 6 packs.
I get it.
Aha.
So I enjoy Sealed. I enjoyed watching Limited, but I'm too excited about this new format to really want to watch anything but Standard and maybe some Modern right now.
So, I mean, we saw Mono Blue Affinity round 1 take down a red deck similar to what, well, maybe not completely similar, but similar in strategy,
a similar core strategy. They were both small ball mono red. Neither of them were playing the high end red stuff that's available, and there's some really flashy high end stuff you can be doing in red right now. But all right, Logan is off to the races. He's got a 1-drop. It's Fire Drink Crusader, probably his second best 1-drop.
Yeah. I'm surprised we're not seeing Foundry Street Denizen in here to get triggers off of the.
My theory is that it probably is in here.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it yet, but it does seem very good in this deck. There's a Swift Spear. No, it's not Swift Spear.
Is that the Jeering? Or no, that's not the Jeering guy. That's Arena Athlete, I think, right?
Arena Athlete costs 2. What is that, Jacob? It's a Hoplite. Satyr Hoplite. So Logan kept a 1-lander. We're probably going to see Titan Strength here.
And I think he's bluffing. Oh, there it is.
Now, the problem is this. In the old Standard, this mono red deck, this low down and dirty mono red deck, got to play Rubble Belt Maka.
Oh, yeah.
That's a giant growth.
Yeah.
That would have actually left you with the Fire Drink Crusader in play. Titan Strength is good. Scry is powerful in this deck because you don't want to get flooded. It's a really powerful way to manage your draws. But it's not as good of and it triggers Heroic, of course.
Oh, yes.
But Maka let you actively push through these 3 and 4 toughness blockers and keep your guy to keep the pressure up, where Titan Strength does not do that.
No. There's the...
That's a Chroma Crusader.
Yeah, Chrome Crusader.
You'd rather be mana screwed than flooded in this deck, for sure. We talked about that last round. The red deck wants to get pressure on early, so you'd rather have creatures and spells and draw out of the screw when your opponent has taken some damage and have a handful of spells. That is going to be that Outlast gentleman, whose name I already forgot. High Sentinels, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is a bird soldier.
The High Sentinels of are Rahim.
Logan hit his second land. We're going to see what he can do with it. Looks like it's play
Arena Athlete?
An Athlete. Athlete is a good card here. Athlete is certainly a powerful way for these red decks to try to get through these mid-range decks.
Yes.
They can oftentimes, for the first 5 or 6 turns, you can only cast 1 spell per turn.
Kind of like Frenzy Goblin.
Yeah, similar to that. I think Frenzy Goblin will end up seeing play in this format. That looks like a Rhino to me.
It's a foily Rhino if it is.
But was a player in their old zoo decks, the old standard zoo decks back in original Ravnica Frenzy Goblin, we saw that effect was very powerful. And I think that it is probably going to be a staple red tool you'll see it be adopted. You just can't let your opponent block. The creatures are so big, they're so good, that when they start blocking, you're just in a lot of hurt. That is a...
That's the Swiftspear, I believe.
Yep, right on time. So if we have a spell to trigger Arena Athlete, and we do, so we got trigger, Scry, we like it, we're keeping it on top. At this point, I think we're probably keeping any spell. And it's a lot of damage.
Yep. Even though she did gain 3 from the Rhino last turn.
Yep.
I mean, he's taking a big old chunk back out.
That was, yeah, a ton of damage.
Yeah. That's exactly what these type of decks want to do. Now, if she can lay another creature or two this turn, that could really clog the board up and prevent Logan from doing stuff.
That's a Vanishing Light.
But Banishing Light will kind of do the trick, too.
Yes, I agree. Although, in a perfect world for Logan, Banishing Light is such a big... You're spending 3 mana to take one of his redundant 1-drops off the board.
Right.
But when you're turtled up behind big toughness creatures, you can start deploying your 3... You don't want to have to deploy it proactively. You want to be able to turtle up and react with your 3 mana spells, for sure.
Right.
So...
And there's a Fleece Main Lion from Jill.
Yep. A good Magic card. Nothing flashy. As Patrick Sullivan said... It's just a good rate. Doesn't do anything fancy. Yes. Just a good rate.
I was thinking about that on the way here. Like, what were the guys saying on Sunday? I'm like, oh yeah, rates.
Abzan rates is what they call this deck. It just, what does your deck do? Said, well, my guys, you get a good rate. I think that's a really good point. Green-white has been going that way for a while.
Yes.
Where you could just play like a 3/3 for 2, and then a 4/4 for 3, and then a 5/5 for 4. But that's like your whole plan. Just be ahead of the curve at every point on the curve. Just push your opponent around.
We get...
Logan says, I'm not going to be pushed around.
Looks like another athlete there from Logan.
Arena Athlete's very powerful, but the problem is this. Every turn that Logan takes off attacking is a turn that Jill has the option to start deploying +1/+1 counters on her guys.
Right.
If she can take a turn off from having to answer Logan's threats and start sinking her mana into pumping her team, it's not going to be long before that gets completely out of control. Yep, puts +1/+1 counter on it.
Okay. Surprised she didn't Monsters Fleece Main Line there. I think it would have kind of done the same thing.
It would have kind of done the same thing. I agree.
Plus his mana's tapped out, so he had no way of
this is a good window to... although, if Logan has to start burning out Jill's guys when she's at 9, I'd call that a victory. I'd spend 5 mana to save 3 life from there, because 9 is a lot of life, but Stoke the Flame's Searing Spear or Lightning Strike is 7 of that, and that can come out of nowhere.
Yeah. This is a spell I'm not familiar with. It gave this guy a +1, pro red and +1. Seems really good.
I agree with that.
And there's a shake, and Jill Mead wins it on camera against Logan Dice.
2-1. So this is kind of how I thought this matchup would go.
Yeah.
It's what I've been saying. I love mono red. I've been playing mono red for years. It's my go-to day one of a new format. I love trying to build the most efficient mono red deck that can still close out a game. I'm concerned that the heroic deck, which had some success last season, has a real Achilles heel, and it's these Abzan decks.
Yeah.
I'm concerned that I personally think that the deck is powerful. It's got a ton of synergy. It has some good matchups for sure. But without like a deck playing a bunch of comes into play tap lands to prey on, like the blue-white control decks of old with a million temples.
Right.
I just don't know if it necessarily has a place in the format right now.
Yeah.
I feel like in the early days,
early.
when everyone's playing these Courser of Krufix Siege Rhino decks, when people are playing just the ton of removal, Murderous Cut type decks, it would also have Courser of Krufix. Like, there might just not be those decks where you can get all the way under them, before they can get these 4 and 5 toughness guys out.
Same thing with control decks. I mean, yes, we have in hostilities, but like in the instance with Jill's deck, she can play 2 guys, wait for, say, me to blow up the board, and then next turn play 2 guys.
Yep, absolutely.
It's like I've done nothing.
Yep.
So we are in a mid-range format, folks,
Yep.
and
at least so far.
Probably till the Pro Tour.
Yeah, well, we'll see if I think there's a lot of room to explore. I think Red has a lot of really good tools right now.
Mm-hmm.
Stoke the Flames is a great Magic card. Brabble Master is a great Magic card. The high-end stuff is not lacking. Stormbreath Dragon has proved itself over and over again to be a great Magic card. Sarkhan is a great Magic card.
Yes.
Tools are there. We're just going to have to see how the format shakes out and see what direction you got to go if you want to be aggressive in Red in this format.
Absolutely.
One thing I can say for sure is these Abzan decks look like the real thing.
Yep.
I don't know if the solution, I liked all the synergy with the +1/+1 counters we saw from Jill. I don't know if the solution is just a more streamlined mana accelerators and big bombs type like you saw be real popular with the Star City Opens. We'll see. There's a ton of room left to explore.
Only time will tell.
Absolutely. Well, once again, we're Dayton Magic Club being brought to you live by our gracious hosts here at Epic Loot in Centerville, Ohio. Do come back for round 3 of 5 here shortly. Pairings go up. We'll have a feature match picked out for you right back here in the booth. So check us out.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back for round 3.
Yep, thanks, guys.